Today's video is on equations review. So I've got a number of learning goals for today. So by the end of today's lesson, you should be able to recall what an equation is, recall what a solution is, represent as an equation as either true or false, and write equations from given word problems. Okay, so an equation is just a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. So for instance, 4 plus x equals 32 is an equation. Now this equation can be true or false. So if x was 28, so if we had 4 plus 28 equals 32, that equation would be true. But that equation would be false if we said something else. So if we said x equaled 10, so we had 4 plus 10 equals 32, that would be a false equation. Sorry, this is the true one. So you can see there that equations can be true or false. So a false equation can be made into a true statement by using the does not equal sign. So for instance, when we had 4 plus 10 equals 32, that's a false equation because 4 plus 10 does not equal 32, but we can turn it into a true equation if we change that to a does not equal sign. So now we have 4 plus 10 does not equal 32, and that is true. So just for clarity, when we're looking at our equations, there's a left-hand side, which is the part that's on the left-hand side. In that case, it's the 4 plus 10, and there's a right-hand side, which is the stuff on the right-hand side, which is the 32 in this case. So a solution to an equation is a value that makes the statement true. So any value that you add in that makes the statement true is the solution. So for instance, if you had the equation 5 times 6, your solution would be the part that would make that true. That would make the right-hand side equal the left-hand side. So 5 times 6, the solution would be 30. So an equation could have no solution, or it could also have more than one solution, depending on what the actual equation is. So let's look at some examples. So what we're going to do now is we're going to classify equations as either true or false. So for those equations on the board, on the PowerPoint there, we're going to classify them as whether they're true or false. So for A, we have 3 plus 8 on the left-hand side and 15 take 4 on the right-hand side. So 3 plus 8 is 11. 15 take 4 is 11. So this statement would be true. For B, we have 7 times 3. That should be a times, not an x, sorry. So 7 times 3 on our left-hand side equals 20 plus 5 on our right-hand side. So 7 times 3 is 21. 20 plus 5 is 25. Oh, so that's a false equation. So that is not true. False. Remember, we could turn it into a true equation if we change that equal sign into a does not equal sign. So for C, we've got y plus 20 equals 3 times y if y is 10. Okay, so if y is 10, we'll have 10 plus 20 equaling 3 times 10. 10 plus 20 is 30. 3 times 10 is 30. So in this case, it is true if y equals 10, because if we change that value of y, it would no longer be a true equation. Okay, so for these, we're going to state a solution. So solution isn't always an answer. It could also be filling in what a variable would have to equal. So to make these equations true, what would the pronumeral have to be? So 4 plus x equals 10. So we need to find out what would x be to make that a true equation. So we're kind of trying to work out what x is. So we've got 4 plus x equals 10. So we're going to try and find x. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 from both sides. So x equals 10, take 4, x equals 6. So therefore we know that x equals 6. So that would be our solution in that case. For B, we've got 5t equals 55. Now if we wanted to find out what t equals, well, we have to divide both sides by 5. So that will leave us with t, and 55 divided by 5 is 11. So our solution would be t equals 11. For our last one, I'm just going to rewrite it because I'd like to. So 3z plus 7 equals 25. So we have to find out what z is. So z has obviously been multiplied by 3 and then we'd have 7 added to it. So to get to z, we're going to take 7 from both sides first. So we're going to do 3z plus 7 take 7 equals 25 take 7. So 3z plus 7 take 7 is just 3z. And 25 take 7 is 18. Then we have to divide both sides by 3. Divide by 3, divided by 3. So z equals 6. So our answer here will be z equals 6. So obviously I've done the full algebraic working for each of those equations. Some of those you can probably just solve just by looking at it. So especially A, 4 plus x equals 10, straight away your brain probably goes 6. You probably don't need to actually step it out. I'm just showing you how to do it, just showing you how we get to the answer there. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is write equations from a description. So we're going to write equations for each of the scenarios. So for a number is doubled, then 5 is subtracted, and the result is 13. Okay, so a number. We don't know what the number is, so we can pick any pronumeral. So let's just go x. So a number is doubled. So we've done 2x, so it's been doubled. Then 5 is subtracted. Okay, take 5, and the result is 13. Okay, equals 13. So that would be our solution here. That would be our equation, sorry. And from there we could obviously work out what x equals to, but what x is equal to, but our question doesn't ask us to do that. So for B, we've got a shop that sells water for $W, so unknown amount per bottle, and juice for $J, okay, unknown number there. So they've got 3 bottles of water and 2 bottles of juice would cost $12.50. Okay, so 3 bottles of water, so 3 times the cost of a bottle of water, which is W. So 3 bottles of water and 2 bottles of juice. Okay, so plus 2 bottles of juice. So 2 times the cost of a bottle of juice is going to leave us with a total price of $12.50. So that's not really written algebraically. So we're going to actually simplify that and get rid of our dollar signs. I mean our multiplication signs. And that would be our equation for that word expression there. So you can see I've just read the words and we've turned it into an expression, making sure we've got a left-hand side and a right-hand side. Again, you could make this a true equation, find a solution for it by finding out the values of the unknown. For A, for B, it's going to be a little bit harder, but the question doesn't ask us to do that. It just says write equations, and we've done that. So that's just a bit of an equations review. None of that should be new information, but it's kind of the foundation of the things that we'll be working up to. So make sure you do understand all of the topics we've covered because it'll be very important in the future.